Hi, this is Melba Moore. I will be returning to 54 Below in New York City on Thursday, October 17th and Friday, October 18th with my one-woman show, Melba Moore from Broadway with Love. It's going to be a tribute to the icons of the stage from Miss Lena Horne to Miss Barbara Streisand. And I'll be performing songs from my own Broadway career too. So come on, y'all. Let's have a blast at 54 Below. It's Melba.
Are you having bad weather where you are?
No, they predicted really bad weather, but it's only been a little drizzle. So,
Okay. Easy money, right?
yeah.
So I am here with the amazing, legendary vocalist and Broadway actress, singer, Miss Melba Moore. Miss Moore, can you tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Hmm. Well, it's going to be so long. No.
Says a lot.
Maybe I can give kind of a capsule view. I'm a native New Yorker, but I claim Newark, New Jersey as well because my mother was a professional singer and she married a musician from Newark. So our family moved from New York to Newark. Of course, I'm back in New York because I'm a New Yorker, but I love Newark too. So let me get off that, right? Um, my first professional was a public school music teacher in Newark, New Jersey. And then I went to Arts High, which is like a performance arts high school. So I've been majoring in music pretty much all my life. Not the first part of my life, because when I was in New York as a child, there was no music in my life. But when my mother moved to Newark, when I was 10 years old, then it all began. I took piano lessons. I fell in love with it. My mother and my father worked together as a musical team. So they rehearsed in the home. So we went from no music to music becoming the centerpiece of our whole family, as well as each of us like actually taking an instrument up. So becoming actually very intimately involved with music. So I loved it. So I wanted to be a student of music. I don't think I really, well, I taught public school and sometimes I run into, of course, they're grown people now. And they say that I said that I was going to be a star. So I must have had the dream. I won't say I didn't, but you don't always know your whole self the way other people see you. So
Right.
I guess I've loved this ever since I knew that it could be possible for me. And I still do. So that's kind of who I am. I'm music and arts and now theater. And after I taught public school for a while, I asked my dad to help me see if he could get me to show business. We took some meetings and I got into the industry as a backup recording singer because one of the people, we met a lot of people, but one of the people who actually helped me get into the industry was Valerie Simpson, who started her career out as a studio backup singer, and then she used to write and sing jingles. So that's how I entered the industry. But how I got into theater, if I tell it the way it happened, it sounds like an accident, but I know God doesn't make accidents, so I'll put it that way. But I didn't have a manager, an agent, or anything. But one of the recording sessions was for the Broadway musical Hair. They were still casting, and they were really looking for strong singers and interesting personalities. But they invited everybody who was on that recording session. If they would come and sing for the director and the producer, they would find a place for us in the musical Hair. So that's how I got my first Broadway show. I guess I was auditioning during the record session, but I just didn't know it. I mean, to this day, I don't know how to audition, but I got um, I got to be in the play Hair, and I was in the chorus, but they had a female lead, and the lead was what the musical Hair was about hippies. So I mean, hippies were white people. They weren't, we weren't hippies.
Right.
I mean, if we believed in all that stuff, we called ourselves something else. It wasn't a hippie.
Right.
So they kept losing the female leads. They would go on to something else, or they leave the show for one reason or another. So one of the people that did the lead was Diane Keaton, and she left the show to do Woody Allen's Broadway musical "Play It Again, Sam." Then one of the black girls in the show, she said, I thought this was free and open, why can't somebody else, be, why does it have to be a white girl? and they were white. So they said, well, we just didn't think of that. Of course, we didn't think that we were white.
Right, right.
I said, but we're open to it. So that they let me audition for it, and I got the female lead. So I became the first Black actress to replace a white actress, first of all. But I also, the actress was Diane Keaton. So
A big actress.
yeah. So that's some of the things that have become my kind of public story. And then the show ran for about 10 years, but after I was in it for about a year and a half, we started talking to each other saying, well, I mean, the actors in the play, we've been in this play a long time, so we need to start to think about going on to something else. But like I said, I didn't know how to audition. I didn't know where to go. I mean, every time there was an open mic someplace, I knew I'd find a nightclub. My parents were nightclub actors, so I knew how to do that.
Right.
So every time they had an open mic, I'd go somewhere and be singing. I was looking for me a record deal, but it didn't even occur to me to try to find something in theater. But one of the actors in the play said, well, no, but you in the theater now. You got your equity union card. You're a professional actor. You need to start going up for some place. I said, well, I don't even know where to go. Anyway, she told me that they were having auditions for this brand new Black musical called Purlie. I was trying to learn how to audition, but I got the part. Excuse me, and a Tony Award. And that opened the door for me to do all of a sudden I got Ed Sullivan Show, the Johnny Carson Show, Flip Wilson Show, every major TV show. So that sent me out to the world, not just the theater world.
Mhm.
And so it really put me on the map. And one thing that happened was while I was in Purlie, one of the actors in there introduced me to Clifton Davis. And it's been public knowledge that we had a big romance, a big TV special, and you can still go on and see the Melba Moore Clifton Davis show. But what had happened was he was down the street in the chorus of Hello, Dolly, which originally was played by Barbra Streisand. But this time it was being played by Pearl Bailey and Cab Calloway, and he was in the chorus. So one of the actors from Purlie introduced me, and we kind of started going out and dating and whatever. But along the way, he left the chorus of Hello, Dolly to become one of the male leads in a hit Broadway musical called Two Gentlemen of Verona. So after that happened, no, excuse me, while he was doing that, because the man was brilliant as well as good looking, he was a great, great, great songwriter. He hadn't had anything out yet, but he started pitching his songs, and he got very, very lucky or blessed. He wrote Never Can Say Goodbye, and he pitched it to Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson recorded it. But he also pitched it to Isaac Hayes, and Isaac Hayes recorded it. Then he also pitched it to Gloria Gaynor, and she recorded it. All three of them had hits on Never Can Say Goodbye. I never heard it yet. I guess I'm talking about how blessed I was once God led me into these areas of theater and professional entertainment.
Right.
And
because you sung that song.
I sang it too.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember now, but I think he wrote it for me. But of course, once Michael Jackson got it, hey, what could I do?
Right.
Excuse me, and Isaac Hayes, because at a point, Isaac Hayes was an Oscar winner.
Right.
He was not just a huge recording artist. And Miss Gloria Gaynor was riding on the crest of disco. So there was really three different styles of Never Can Say Goodbye that became hits.
That's amazing.
I'm trying to say, I could say my life was amazing, but some of the details will tell you that.
Oh no, your life is amazing. Like all aspects of it. You sang backup. Yeah, you sang backup for Frank Sinatra and Aretha Franklin. Now,
those are just the two of the name. I was Liza Minnelli's double.
Wow, crazy work.
Right. And
now, well, of the three, who schooled you the most, although your vocal range was already out of this world even then?
Well, actually, I had a range, but I didn't have a style. So I think the ones who had the most to do with my style was McFadden and Whitehead.
Oh, okay.
Because my then husband, Charles Huggins, was my manager. And so he would get all these incredible record deals, which brought along with it these great songwriters and producers. And he went down to Philly International and kind of borrowed some of they're a great talent. Matter of fact, Teddy Pendergrass is my daughter's godfather. So
Oh,
we really kind of became family that way. But the songs that they created for us were, of course, our demographic was R&B
right.
record. So they saw my range, and they were like, I don't think they really, I mean, they were familiar. They knew about my Broadway career and everything. But when they
Mhm.
worked with me, it was about R&B records and music. What were they going to play on the radio? What was going to make it on the charts? And what were they going to buy? So I think like songs like Falling, the duet with Freddie Jackson, those things really helped shape what I kind of normally do, but it was never really connected in a song or a style. But
Mhm.
they gave me the platform to get hit records out of whatever it is the heck I do.
Right. A performer.
Yeah,
Now, what's your favorite stage performance, past or present?
I would say Purlie.
Purlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were groundbreaking in Purlie. Um, you recently received your flowers with the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Tell us why this is a special experience and accomplishment for you.
Well, first of all, because it's forever. You're in the cement now.
Okay.
And of course, it's so exciting. It would be exciting to say the least, but it wasn't something I aspired to, was focused on, or was thinking about, was planning. But fortunately, my management partner was. And even he kind of kept me posted along the way over a couple of years it took to do this.
Hmm.
It's quite a process. And when I looked at all that it took and all the different people that came together to make this happen for me,
Hmm.
I would just cry
Oh,
because it's that powerful and it's permanent. And then it makes you look at the people around you that help to make your life so wonderful.
mhm.
And you look at it for what it is, because you're so busy. You take a moment and you look and you say, oh my God, thank you, first of all. And, we're used to, like, for instance, we're having an interview now, and you remember these things and you say them. But at a moment like that, you kind of really get a chance to stand back and look at what's happened. I
Right.
mean, for instance, an incredible person besides great, 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 great star is Lunel. You know
Oh,
her?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, she's brilliant. I got an opportunity to kind of see that. For instance, when she was um, giving her accolades and what she thought about me, and actually, I mean, at the SAR, Cheryl's presence or something like that, and she said, "No, this is going to be this way," and she kind of just led this and took over. And I predict this. I predict that. First of all, Lunel's such an incredible person, but with her genius and her power as an entertainer, she's going to do some things with me that kind of help, I don't know, shelter me and move me in this new age that I'm in.
Mhm.
There's no way that I could really navigate it without someone who's from this time
Right, right, right.
and, let me be and help me be who I am and continue to achieve things and grow. And so that when people continue to remember that I have a Hollywood star, they'll give me projects to be in now. When you look at me, you'll have a reason to say, oh, that's why she got a star. Then maybe if
Right,
you maybe for instance, if you're very young, you don't know who I am,
right, right,
for an example. Yeah.
right. But you look like when you mention the names that you mentioned that you performed with back then, and then you're performing now. I mean, you are stunning. Let me just throw that out there. God has been good to you.
You. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, tell us about your new projects and what you are working on now.
Well, the main thing I'm promoting right immediately at the moment is a local project called 54 Below, which is a live performance at a kind of cabaret place that really focuses on Broadway and theater. That's their demographic.
Mhm.
So because of that, I'm focusing on my Broadway career in life. And so I'm calling it From Broadway with Love. And since I've only had a chance to do it once, and just to be the second time, I'm looking for places to actually put it up again and cement it and get the kinks out, so it can be a play with a one-woman play with music about the Broadway aspects of my life, because it's so full and it's really chock full of the things that put me on the map in the first place. And so they involve people like Miss Lena Horne, Flip Wilson, I was saying Liza Minnelli, Isaac Hayes, Johnny Carson, Bing Crosby, B. Arthur. I mean, these are people from another age,
Right.
but they're iconic. Excuse me, did I say Lena Horne?
Yes.
Barbara Streisand. I mean, and then just it goes on and on and on. And the project is small, so I'm only mentioning a few people in it, but I'd like to put it up and maybe get a residence somewhere, actually work it out and flush it out and see how that becomes like a story with music. Because
Right.
the story I have basically one up, but it's really focusing on my R&B music and my R&B life.
Right. Right.
So in a way, it's like two different stories.
So with this performance, is it going to be a storytelling, like a biography with
Yeah,
music? Can you? Okay.
yeah. Because when I do, for instance, I do hair,
Mhm.
and I have my big old afro, and so they don't think it's Miss Diana Ross. I have to tell them it's no, they know the difference. But when I do the songs, I will kind of like act the characters out a little bit, just to give them because it's a piece. They're theater people, so they want to see you kind of in character.
Right.
But it's an autobiography.
I like that you've done that because we don't have that now. The biography with you singing the types of music from back then and bringing it into the now.
Right.
That makes sense.
So you can see what we looked like. And this can be done in concert form, and I've worked it out so that the little props and things that I use, you see me change into different people right before your eyes. That's always interesting.
Right. I
You know,
love
as,
it.
as an entertainment device, so that I mean, you could just, and I've done it. You just stand and sing the songs, and that's wonderful because the music is incredible. But I
Right.
think you add another dimension, even to concert form, when you're actually doing the characters instead of just standing there singing them.
I mean, Broadway is what you do, so it's going to be spectacular. Can you give us the dates for that?
Yes, October 17th and 18th, um, one show a night, 7 p.m.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you were on the Jennifer Hudson show or one of the talk shows
Yes.
recently. It was Jennifer Hudson.
Well, who else did you say? Yes.
Now you were showcasing your range, your octave. Do
Well,
you
actually, she was.
she was testing you, or she was just what was going on?
Sherry set me up.
Now,
Actually, we didn't have a lot of time, and so
uh-huh,
there wasn't an ability for me to actually sing a song, but she wanted me to show the range.
right.
So she said, well, I want you to sing something, because I've been trying to do this at home. And when I start doing it, I start covering. I said, what do you do? So I said, oh, I ain't got time to sing like one note. So
Okay. So with that was a good tease, and that was in just showing the audience because she said she couldn't do it. But do you feel like you constantly must prove that you still got it after all these years?
especially now, and especially because a lot of artists are out there performing and they don't have it anymore. And so
Right.
when they come to you, they think you're not going to do it too. So you need to say, no, I got it. And then you have to say, and then you have to
I did that.
forever live.
Somebody said, "Don't play with me." Okay.
Right, right. Yes, you have to. Well, I don't know about others. I have to prove it. Maybe others don't. I do.
And no, I think because your range was so, I think it was something different about your range that was documented. Do you remember what that was?
I think somebody has timed the notes sometimes. Could that
Hmm.
be what you're thinking of? You maybe
I think it went
because
on
the notes were
public
so
record.
long.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Hmm.
because the notes were so long. No,
Mhm.
because the notes were so long. I got to say to this because I want to encourage people. I don't know who's watching this, but whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it, keep doing it again. Because those notes were not always there for me. I'm a lyric soprano, which means I have a certain range as a soprano, high notes.
Mhm.
Coloratura is the highest. It'd be like a Mariah Carey. No, nobody sings that high except her.
Right. And she don't even sing that high anymore.
Oh, see what I'm saying? Well, what I mean is this. When you get older, the instrument changes. And so whatever it is you want to do, if you can still do it, you have to do different things to maintain it.
Okay.
But I think what's on record is that, well, I guess what I'm saying is in the attempt to develop my style, my voice, teach myself, take voice lessons, these notes have been coming. They've been getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And as I get older, I realize I've got to take better care of myself. There's certain things I can't go out and eat ice cream and, pig out anymore because it's going to go right to my throat, especially because you use it so much.
Right.
But as I'm finding, I think it's really important that I let people know the main thing about this is I'm a Christian and that's first. So I'm saying, well, you made this, how is it working now? Because now I had some trouble yesterday. What was that? What was that? And you
Mhm.
go in your prayer and your meditations and stuff, and you try things to see how his voice is going into your head and telling you what things you might investigate and whatever. So you discover what the regimens you need now. And then because you asked God and he made it, so you respected him,
That's right.
he gives you some things you didn't have before. There's some things I see now. There's a sweetness that wasn't there before. Now,
Hmm.
I mean, we might think it should come with maturity. When you get to a certain point in age, and sometimes just by the nature of your voice and your instrument, that doesn't happen, and maybe something else happens.
Right.
So I'm just saying it's not guaranteed. Well, I guess everybody knows that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying I feel like with me, something else is going on too, but he showed me how to keep what I had, which is a very difficult time because the physical instrument actually changes.
Hmm.
Why a lot of times, regardless of what your range is, your voice gets lower, it gets fuller. I think the vocal cords actually get thicker, fits physically. But there is a way that you can, no, maybe not everybody, maybe that's a part of the gift that God gives, like his fingerprints, nobody's the same,
Right.
that you can maintain the areas that you had but add on to, like for instance, my voice is getting lower, but I'm keeping the middle range, but it's also getting higher, and the notes are getting longer. But I can't eat ice cream anymore.
Oh Lord. Well, the small sacrifices.
Yes,
Now you have a beautiful testimony that the last time we spoke, we touched on that where you I think one of your friends paid you to work for him. Do you think, looking back at that time and now, that you ever envisioned snapping back like this?
I can't think of it that way because I really am a born again Christian,
Hmm.
and so it's a process. So what it is the process of daily hope and asking what is God going to allow. And then what you're talking about is a time when I like to give him credit, was with Michael Matthews. And he took me out on the road with him. And the important part of it too is that he paid me like $7,000 cash every week. You probably remember that part of the story.
Yes.
But they had to teach me how to take care of that money because I didn't have a bank account because I had lost everything.
Right.
And I couldn't send it home because I was homeless.
Uh,
So, well, it may sound sad. I guess I'm laughing because I think it's hilarious because you had to find a new way of living your life. And
right.
you could only do that if you were out with Christians
Okay.
and them surrounding you sometimes, because it was so devastating not to have my daughter and being homeless and everything. You just feel like you're already dead, not like you're dying. The only difference is you're born again, so that's not what it is. It's something else. I can't tell you what it is, but it's something else. And to have that aura around you and to have everything build back again. I don't know if you're thinking so much about the future, but you take one day at a time, and each day is just glorious. And you
Right.
You see, one day, like I got a telephone call, and that was back in my life. Something else happened, and that was back in my life. So now I'm with you, and I can tell you all about it. So it would be natural for you to ask me, well, did you ever think that I could just say no? But I think it's important to say this. It's a process, because I don't know what other people are going through that might see this.
Right.
And it may make my situation look like kindergarten to what they're going through.
Right.
So I would encourage them to just take it one day at a time.
That was my next question. For the humans that are at their wits' end, about to lose everything or have lost, what are your words of encouragement for the people that's hanging on by their last thread of hope?
You're doing the absolute right thing. Try to just keep doing that. Go to sleep and rest so you can get up and do the same thing tomorrow.
Okay.
And whatever it is, it takes you to get started right, so that you'll go through the day and you'll do it again. And after a while, you'll look back and say, that was years ago, and I'm just fine.
You're just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're just fine. You're beautiful too, lady. So, are you working on new music?
Actually, I have a current album called Imagine.
Mhm.
And it's been finished a couple of years ago, but we're kind of revamping how we're marketing it, because everything has changed out here.
Right.
But the album is called Imagine, and my executive producer, my boss, is my daughter, and her name is Charlie. So that's the main project, recording project that we're still working on here.
Okay. Way to go, Charlie. So, can you drop that information on from Melba Moore with Love? What is
No,
the
okay. It's From Broadway with Love by
from Broad
Melba Moore at 54 Below on October 17th and 18th. Shows are at 7 p.m.
shows are at 7 p.m. and your website information?
melbamore.com,
Of course.
all the other platforms. Okay,
Well,
you can always find me on YouTube, of course.
YouTube and IG. She's very functional on IG, y'all.
Right, Instagram, right.
So thank you so much, Miss Moore. You were a delight as usual, super informative, and I think we got action.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you later.